Yep.
Judge is nodding his head reassuringly.
I figured y'all were ready to go today. Call to order the budget work session on Wednesday, June 3rd, 2020 at 2 o'clock. It's always start by invocation. I'll ask the vice chairman and all his leave, please.
Join me, please. Almighty, gracious Heavenly Father, what a beautiful day. Let us always remember that you are the creator. Turn to you. Everything turn to you and look for advice. So, now personally to you, I thank you for my wife's surgery yesterday. Much. Pray that you'll be with each member of our committee, manager, finance, clerk, all the people in this meeting that are with them, God. Things we have. Amen.
Amen. And stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, approve the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. And move on to our budget discussion. Item A, impacting the budget. Doug, do you want to read that one?
Or you want to
You're
go through the corrections first to the.
I have laid at your, everyone's spot, a list of things that we come up during the budget and need your approval or disapproval of it. This time I do have that in the version 2 budget, and then anything we want to change, I have a version 3 to work on. The first are corrections. The health Title 19 fund, there was a number of employees error on there, and you'll save $1,258. And veteran service unemployment was $13 too much. GIS requested $3,200, which was approved for a website that was approved at 5/11 board meeting. Election, there was equipment out there of $4,000 that should have been, we bought it in 1920. And then the fence at SciTech would reduce SciTech budget and want to transfer as much money from the 4-cent fund. The social services was giving up their HCCBG monies of $55,505. I need to take that away from their revenue and add it to senior services because they reallocated those funds, and plus senior services got a little bit more. And there's a change in the corrections of $2,342 to the good, so. I don't know if y'all want to approve it or just wait till I go through the list. Then items to add back to the budget, to the recommended budget for consideration, is 2 jailers and their fringes. I found some savings in the jail budget due to retirement. Then Mike said their revenue could be up $38,080. Sheriff's Department, I found some savings because due to retirement in his salary line items. Senior Services wanted $5,000 put back. They must have 9 to 15 ongoing programs to keep their certification of excellence at the Wanaco Senior Center. Fire Marshal wanted $1,650. His online NFPA books and firehouse software contract due to renewal increase to upgrade. And Register Deeds is requesting his permanent part-time position be put back. And that'd be a total of $50,761 increase, which nets out with the corrections of $48,419.
These are items that y'all have
spoke about, interested in placing back into the proposed budget, so that's, we just still make a decision on. So he is just giving you the breakdown of what you already done spoke about.
Can we go by each commissioner real quick, your thoughts on that right there? So Commissioner Langford.
All the savings is 227,955, is that correct?
If you do.
That's on another
That's
issue that I've not
on
talked about yet.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry. So we adding,
48,000.
48,000.
Yes, sir. With the
Is there any,
correction.
any way we can rearrange that to put it back?
You would have to revise the proposed budget on all the jail, sheriff, senior services, fire marshal, register deeds, and that's what's adding these funds back. As of right now, there's corrections to be made to the existing budget because of things that was already approved or has been found that need to be corrected in certain departments. That is a savings of $2,342, right? If I'm not
That's
speaking
correct.
this right, Julie.
That's
please
correct.
step in.
Yes, that's a saving.
This thing.
Yeah.
That probably can be approved at any time, but, or even if it needs to be approved, this is just corrections that's got to be made due to error or
New information.
changes in new information, but, the items that you would want to add back would be something you would have to approve in your 2021 budget.
You can choose.
And if you do that, then it will add $48,000 to the proposed budget. as it
Recommended
exists.
budget.
Yeah, recommended budget as it exists now.
The register of deeds part-time position, for some unknown reason, I thought that was already cut.
Jake has cut it, but he
A couple.
has talked to some about adding it back, so that's the reason I put that on there.
That was some interest of board members that what it would take to put it back, how much it was and stuff, so. Joey just went in and showed that.
Senior service, professional services, what are we talking about?
That's, they had to have 9 to 15 ongoing programs to keep their certification down there at Wanted Code. That's computer programs, yoga, whatever, I forget what the other ones, bingo, whatever else they have down there.
Are they saying that's a must-have $5,000 to keep it going?
That's what she said.
Okay.
We spoke to her before when we was doing our budget, that was not discussed. In when we were doing our original cuts by department head interviews. She has come back and said, oh, look here, please don't cut this out, I made a mistake, this needs to go back in there if you want us to maintain this certification of excellence at the Monaco site. And that's just, you want them to maintain that. But they pride themselves in it, so.
What kind of, numbers or the request for 2 jailers? What can y'all give me to say that's justifiable?
I think he has to have them by the state code,
He
is
does.
that correct?
State requires
Yeah.
per staff, per inmate.
26 to 1, he's
Per
been written
inmate.
up, he's already been
Average
written
per
up.
inmate?
Yeah, 26 to 1, and he's got 40 empty beds that he can't fill until he gets 2 positions, and he's been written up already for having too many inmates and not enough staff.
Those 40 beds were pretty much,
Yes,
that
once
were
he
paid
had
for these 2 jails plus
more than paid for,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's kind of a no-brainer there.
That one, yeah.
to it, if you take the jailers minus the salary adjustment I found, minus the revenues and minus the sheriff, it's only increasing 28,428 for that.
I think I already made this comment, but I like to make Nicholson fences for the fence at Forsyth Tech. Save 5,000.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. That's just in the corrections line of things that had to be corrected in the
Yeah.
budget.
So what kind of equipment had to be purchased for the elections?
They went ahead and bought that in 1920. Out of leftover equipment money, they didn't have to buy vote machines for the 3 precincts they closed. So this was some type of computer that does something with those new vote machines.
It's the air gap.
And he could go ahead and buy with those leftover monies, and still I transferred out funds out of that equipment line item.
That makes sense. All right, I think that's probably the only questions I have at this point, at this time.
What's your feelings on the added items right there between the jail and register of deeds? What's your opinion on that? Adding those back to the proposed budget?
On the register of deeds,
All of it, from the jail, sheriff, senior services, fire marshal, and register of deeds.
well, since we're in a recession, I personally don't think we need to be adding positions.
Are you talking about the jailers or
I'm talking about all of them.
all of them? Okay. So your vote is not to do it on this part?
If we had to, we don't have to lump them together.
No, you don't have to lump them
No.
together. You can say, I want this gone,
You
or
can
else
say you
you
want
do
the
this.
jailers and you don't want the register of deeds, or vice versa.
Well, the only reason why I made that comments, I think, it was stated that due to the election laws or the sheriff's deputies is prorated, I guess, per inmate. Is that the way it works?
Jail.
And you have to have those if you've got X amount?
You have to have
So
one,
that's, we can't get rid of that?
not if you wanna fill those 40 beds over there
And get the revenues from it.
and get the revenue from
Okay,
those.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and
So
and it's,
we can't lump the sheriff's in there.
You can do each one of these.
Yeah,
and
you
they
can
give
give
each
each
one
one individual.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Is there any of them that you'd see like taken out?
I still have a question about senior services, professional service.
That is due to the programs that she has to have to keep that certification down there at One Cove Senior Center. Got that, what is it, Certificate of Excellence?
They just got that last year.
And they just say, well, give us $5,000, there's a good possibility they won't keep a
Yeah.
certificate of excellence.
She can have those programs, pay those people to do those programs, to keep the certificate.
But it's not gonna put them in trouble, nothing, they'll just leave that certificate of excellence. Right.
And the fire marshal, I don't know where we need to upgrade.
I think he said he had to have that, didn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't really a choice to upgrade, it was just an upgrade in their system. It's gonna cost them more, plus their books are online for their, certifications and the things they have to do to keep all their things, current. So it's just an increase in the cost of it. We were looking at numbers to cut, and we cut actual numbers from last year, he had increased, but we didn't realize, because he didn't have the justification in there for that till we asked him. He said, oh no, that went up $1,650, so he has to pay that.
And the firehouse software is up for renewal, and that's where they have to do all their reporting to Raleigh and everything on that.
think that's probably all the questions I got at this time.
Jimmy?
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Walker.
All right, you call me Rick.
Call me anything you want to, as long as it's not derogatory or demeaning. There's three positions, three departments with position requests that we're discussing in information that you just gave us. Jail, Register of Deeds,
Permanent part-time and registry.
and what was the third one?
That's only
That's
two
only-
positions.
Oh.
That's only three.
Two
Other
departments.
positions.
Two departments. The jail is an easy one for me. I'm willing to invest to make money. And that long term is something that could prove to be beneficial. Part-time in Register of Deeds, I know that position would be a help there. I'm sticking with trying to be fair and consistent. How does that request, I need to address this to Jake possibly. Jake, how does that request compare to some of the others that you had to say no to?
That request is, far as, the part-time position in Register of Deeds, it was cut. I cut that due to the fact of all the technology that has taken place over the past, 5 or 6 years, and how things is coming about. And I just don't think that part-time position is actually needed in that. And if we were to, actually, think about, what could happen as far as COVID and the shutdown and that, we just looking in areas of what it took to make sure that each department was, function properly. And I think the rest of it could function. As far as the Register of Deeds being, ranked as good, as much as what the actual jail would be, just like you said, that's a no-brainer. That is an income-based type decision there. But I looked at other positions. I did make another cut in, the fire marshal's position. They had a part-time there, and we cut that one also. So, but that was, part of, getting one full-time position. That's, part of the deal of doing that with the town of Walnut Cove's contract. I tried to be as fair as I possibly can in making sure that each department was able to maintain their department.
This position was in the budget last year. He removed it from the budget in 2020. It wasn't a new position asked for. He's just asking for it to be put, Register of Deeds is asking for it to be put back in there.
It was gone.
What was his justification for his request?
At that time, he was requesting that he was needed due to, vacations, sickness, lunch. Staff could be able to, go, take off, be able to use their time, be able to take breaks and be able to leave the office and someone would be there. That was the purpose behind it, my understanding, but, want to get, Brandon to let him give you his opinion on that even more, why it was, requested to be placed back. Well, it's gone.
One thing I'm interested in, sorry about my voice, these allergies are about to get me. I don't want to be in a position where I'm being asked You didn't approve mine, why did you approve theirs? I look for fairness and consistency, and you seem to have based your, action on pretty good observation.
Look at the rest of these, there's so much technology taken up there, and Mr. Hooker has already done expressed how that has changed so much in his department and how they are moving forward with even more technology that is electronically updated and viewed and done, and he's doing a wonderful job in there in some things that he is being getting instituted and created, and things more online for people to be able to view this and other documents that's making sure they were. I've always been in these old books and they're kind of really hard to look at, and they're really brittle and old, and it's a part of preservation.
And I agree with you, if I may, say this, he seems to have a knack for being able to apply some of this newer technology
It does.
to how his department functions. And that's good, that keeps us kind of up to the curve.
And you look, there's with him, there's 3 full-time positions in the
Right,
rest of
that's what I was
these things.
thinking. Okay, let me ask you this, you've heard Julia's list, those are things that we added back to be looked at. What are your thoughts about, and I don't want to put you on the spot that you don't need to be on, but what are your thoughts about the things on the list, if I could get your input, please?
If I done this, what the board were thinking about adding back, I would definitely do the jail, these 2 positions. We were kind of confused with Sheriff Mike on what was being requested here, and after we talked to him more, we were come to the conclusion that, these 2 jailers is the income that be made from them in filling the other 42 beds is no comparison. So that one I would do.
Let me add one thing, if I may, please. Plus, regarding that particular item, we have a compliance issue,
Yes, we do.
and that's not going to go away. Once an issue, it appears to me at least, once an issue like that surfaces, it stays there until it's remedied. And sometimes the state's patience gets a little thin if it's not remedied within a certain length of time.
And with these 2 jailers, he's working very hard with the state and federal government on making sure he's got the right inmate there that would bring in the most revenues on it. That would be the first one I would absolutely do. The adjustment to the salaries you can see there, that's a no-brainer. That's just something that needs to be adjusted because of retirement. Senior services, this is to allow them to make sure that they are handling and maintaining their certificate of excellence in Wanaco, and I think that is something to where that must be, we want to maintain that, because I feel like our seniors are pride themselves on going with that place in Wanaco, and they enjoy it, and they feel good about how services are being provided there. So, with that $5,000 addition, it just allows her to is that like extra training, right, for them to maintain this?
No, it's to, people come in and do programs and things there at the senior center.
Program for the seniors.
Yeah.
One of them was for training. Was that the fire marshal?
Yes, some of that is.
I'm sorry, Larry. Then okay, then
Well,
training,
not training.
having the right people to come in and do programming at that site at the senior center that would benefit our seniors. And then I would do the fire marshal. I would make sure that they had the proper training and books and renewals of their upgrades in software to stay on top of, the latest.
So you're saying you would add that one back?
I would add all of them with the exception of the register deed. That was short answer.
Now, let me ask for Julia maybe. Suppose we decide one way, we'll use the register of deeds position, for example. And it appears, a few months later, Brandon was right. There is justification for that position. We can still come in, do a budget amendment, and add it at a later time if we needed to.
Yes, sir.
Say the recession or the downturn in our economy is not as bad as everyone thought it was gonna be. Absolutely, you can revisit these things.
You could actually have a list available, Jake, of, items that should things go better than expected, we might take another look at. Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll stop there. Thank you, sir.
So you're looking at treasurer D's position out right now?
For now, and as Julia responded to my question, if there doesn't appear to be justification for that, 2, 3, 4, 6 months down the road or something, we can take another look at it if the funds are available.
Okay.
I want to make sure while we're going over this part here with the positions and things for consideration for approval or disapproval, there were some emails that you all should have received. One came directly to you from EMS Director Brendan Gentry. The other I forwarded to you from DSS Director Stacy Elms. Just basically also doing what Brendan's done here, asking for things to be put back into their budget. The EMS were asking for an administrative assistant back in their budget. I hadn't heard from anybody in a meeting about talking about putting that back, so we didn't put it on this breakdown. But I want to be fair and mention them since they did send that out. And Stacy's was a request to add back her social work supervisor in there, and she's got quite a bit of reasoning behind that here. I'm not sure. I've got copies of those emails that I sent out. If you didn't have it or want to look at it again, just
Shannon, what was the DSS total?
the total. The county portion of it's $19,094.54.
You have to add the total in there.
Right, and the total annual salary is $41,693.86 for that position.
Does that add fringes too?
Well, that, I don't know. That's
The
this is just
19
what
local
she's.
dollars.
The 19's the local dollars. Yeah.
The EMS?
And the EMS, he doesn't have the cost in here, but I think it was what he was asking for was a administrative assistant position. It was 20 something. I have to look at the exact number. I don't want to not mention them since they did also send requests too. And I've got those if anybody wants copies of them for now.
I'd like to follow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Administrative assistant.
I was appointed by the board to serve on the DSS board. And there was considerable discussion at the DSS board meeting about the position that Shannon mentioned. And I intended to mention it during the budget process. I'm glad you went ahead. My memory's not what it used to be honest, but my intentions were to mention that. And Stacy made a good case for it. We're talking about compliance with certificate for senior services. This is a compliance issue for DSS. The state has, like the jail, the state has lots of rules and regs. And one of them is that for every so many social workers, there needs to be a supervisor. We're not complying with that requirement. It would take one more supervisor than one that we're discussing now to bring the department up to full compliance with their staff. And if y'all read the memo, she presented a pretty good case for considering it. Now, the EMS position, I'm not familiar with that department. Is there any other commissioner that can share some first-hand knowledge about how that request fits into the total scheme of things for the budget? Okay, do you have any knowledge?
I need to read the letter again. I read Stacy's, I remember it, but I don't remember the details of the EMS.
Do you want me to read what he wrote?
Yeah.
Okay. For Mr. Gentry, I'd like to take the time to ask for reconsideration of the following to the 2021 budget. I have requested an administrative assistant in the last two budgets, and I truly understand the cuts that our departments are experiencing, but I would like to ask all of you to consider the addition of this position. He wants to split the position between emergency management and EMS, and he thinks this resource would benefit both departments in various ways. Currently, they have 74 employees working for Stokes EMS. The administrative assistant position would make the office available to the public 5 days a week. Currently, Justin and Brandon are often in and out of the office, attending meetings, etc., and are unavailable for immediate response to public outreach. It would benefit our staff as well as the public to have someone in the office to answer the phone and relay time-sensitive, important information to the appropriate personnel in a timely manner. Also, this position could assist with running reports, shift scheduling, ordering medical supplies, paying bills for the department, reviewing timesheets, and many other various duties. Having a resource in this position would relieve some duties currently performed by Justin, which is the training officer, and himself, so that they could prioritize and focus their time on the duties of training of EMS employees and being director of EMS emergency management. In observation, other departments with far fewer employees seem to have an assistant available, and these challenging times have only reiterated the need in our department. That was what he had put in about his administrative assistant. And Julia's got the total, I think.
That position would cost $43,879.75. Now, right now, we are charging out of DRC's, the lady down there that's his, what she's called, Laura's, her $11,374.88 of her salary is charged to EMS. That would have to be charged back to Tony's budget.
She currently does their time sheets, I think, and that's pretty much what she does
That's
for
pretty much all she 25% of her salary, which is a week. And it, she does time sheets. But that cost with fringes is $43,879.75. Now the DSS supervisor 3, that with fringes is $57,228.06.
Would the county's portion still be 19?
And the county proportion would be $26,208.73.
You're gonna respond to it.
I don't have anything knowledge more than what's in the process.
Well, I'd like to do the same, if I may. I'd like to ask Jake the same question that I asked him previously about the other request. Did you cut this one from, apparently you cut this one from the proposed budget?
I made all requests for new, I cut them all.
So you cut this one to.
They're not the only ones. These are just two that has submitted an email requesting it back. There are other ones that got cut that have not requested them back. They've accepted what was placed in the budget and move forward with it. They'd love to have them back, I'm sure of it.
So you actually evaluated these two requests along with the other
Along with
requests
others.
when you were creating the proposed budget?
I evaluated what it was costing the taxpayers to do this budget. And I tried to bring it down as much as I possibly can because you wanted the fund balance to stay at a certain amount. You do not want to raise taxes to accomplish this. It would have been wonderful if that sales tax would have went through, but it didn't. That's what caused a lot of this, me to rethink and look at what needs to be done, submitted to the commissioners as far as what would be the less impact on your fund balance and maintaining the same tax bill that the citizens are already getting at a 62-cent tax rate. And also keeping in mind what the economy could turn into. So I was just being very cautious.
Now, at the current level of our fund balance, I've been trying to track it as we went along, but I may have kind of got a little behind. Is it currently below, even with your budget, below what we hoped it would be at?
Not his budget.
Right, no,
20.71
yes.
right now, with, if
Oh,
we have
okay.
this
Well, I thought it had dropped below 20. I'm glad to hear that.
20.71, right, and that's a
Yeah.
percentage with the recommended budget.
Recommended budget, yes.
Right, I don't know
I'm
about
sorry,
some of
yes.
the version 2, 3, all that.
Right.
If you add all this, it probably dropped down about, what, 18%?
With version 2, it's 18%.
No, I knew I heard 17 point something.
And what does the
Well,
version 2 include?
But that also takes out that 500,000.
So that version 2 includes the 500,000 for River
That's what I mean,
Street.
it takes it out of fund balance.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
If you've done that, then you're looking.
Is that why you put that, plussed up the economic development? So
Yes,
that's
yes.
Yes.
Right.
I was gonna suggest.
That's where we paid it out of last time.
Right.
I was gonna suggest how you do capital reserve on it, but that's just either
You
one.
can't pay it out of capital reserve fund.
And
No.
you put it in the right place then.
Huh?
I said you put it in the right place.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can't pay for anything out of cap reserve, you have to
Yeah.
transfer that money into a different, into a plain capital
Should've just
reserve.
done exactly the same thing you've done with the one.
If Julia ever decides to retire, which I hope is no time, I think she'd be a good person to teach. Yeah, finances.
Yeah, for sure.
In the budget for a consultant position, I'm gonna have.
I'll let us stop there, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your patience and allowing me to ask these questions.
What thoughts on the other two, in or out?
Now, you're talking specifically, let me just be sure I'm clear. Because I do have brain fog, I admit
Yeah.
this.
You said right now, that your vote, you had, on this part of it right here, if you had to take one out, it'd be the register of deeds position part-time. As far as DSS and the EMS that got added, would be any one of them, would you look to cut on this part, or do you want them added?
I don't want to finalize my decision on those right now. I think I'd rather get farther along with our budget discussion and see how things are shaping up
Okay,
before I give a firm answer on those.
okay, all right.
All righty, I'll just answer your question. I'm good on the jail positions, good on senior services. I'll answer the rest of these tomorrow. I might want to talk to Brandon and read this also before I give a final call on that one. If I'm prioritizing the other two we've talked about, the DSS is the one that, I would be interested in doing. I've been involved in the decision process. I think these are child welfare, right? To me, child welfare is probably the most important thing we do in the county, or really close to it. Maybe senior welfare is equal, but what this ratio of supervisors to social workers, when you're talking about child welfare, it's structured so that decisions are made jointly between more experienced people and less experienced people. And I don't remember what our turnover rate is for this year, but especially if you end up having a lot of inexperienced people as social workers, this even becomes more important, because they make these decisions that are just really super risky for the kids, I mean, they have to be right. They really can't afford to make mistakes on them, because the kids suffer. They do. The kids that are already in trouble, or they wouldn't be in this process to start with. So it's, when I used to supervise that department, I was involved on a daily basis with a lot of these kind of decisions. I participated in that process on several occasions, and so for that reason, I think it's very important to keep that ratio so that a social worker under super stress doesn't make a bad decision without having the proper advice from people that have more experience. So that'd be my position on those. I'm okay with all these other recommendations. I think they're in here. I'll talk about the internet part of this maybe in our next phase, next go round, but otherwise.
It's on the second page.
Yeah, I got some stuff to say on that anyway when we get to it, so. That's it. One thing, Shannon said, and, I'm not nitpicking her, but she said it's the River Street money, it's really the money.
yeah.
It's gonna go in an RFP, and whoever wins
Right.
the, solicitation process, if River Street wins it, then it would be theirs. If
Right.
somebody else wins it, then it would be theirs. But, as we get to it, I'll talk about the major objective of getting into that 30 million that's coming in October, so. That's all I have.
Chairman, this page that we have, first one. So very comfortable that we these enough wants, but necessities, which is the two jailers. Two jailers, I think, are the things that we have to have move forward at first. We just talked about, it's already been written up, I understand. Also, we have 40 empty beds. That's revenue that we're not getting in if we don't get the two jailer positions. I'm certainly fine with that. Senior services, the professional services, good with that. That's sort of like, school level, that's sort of like Southern Association. Really, every 5 years, you have to be accredited or evaluated. Very important that that goes well. Only one I make a yay or nay on yet is age. About that one, Mr. Chairman, I'll tell you yes or no yet. When y'all said 3 and 1, are y'all saying right now, is it 4 counting Brandon or
Yes.
is 4 full-time?
No, there's
No,
two
three
full-time.
full-time and a
3 full-time and a
part-time,
part-time?
working 80 hours if they
3
do.
full-time and a part-time right now.
3 full-time, including Brandon, and then a part-time.
So if we added this, it'd be 3 full-time and 2 part-time.
No, it's Brandon, and then he has 2 full-times there, and the permanent part-time. So there's 4 total people, total, that the permanent part-time was added last year, and that's what's not in this budget. So if you didn't add that, it would
It's
just.
really 3.5333 positions.
Thank you. I like to hear. I want to think about that one. But the others I feel comfortable with, because I think they're neat. They're necessities. On the
Jake
stuff.
cut out the point.
Stacy's position, I think I can make that decision as we go further along. You know how important that position. I can wait and see before we come out on a budget. Certainly consider the administrative assistant for, but we talked about it as a group, and I'm at almost every meeting. We're in unusual times. Sometimes you have to cut things. Other years you might be able to say, hey, we want that, we need that, and we need to move ahead and get it. I don't know, I don't think anybody just maybe can come out and say exactly what kind of shortfalls we'll have. I don't think we can at this point. Have to make some decisions probably based on what
my right quick. I think all of them are really justified, and just like I said, don't want to kind of question, I don't want to pick on Brandon, but the whole reason for the new technology going in Brandon's office is so that it's supposed to save the county money on the long run, which means not so many positions needed. Kind of like, Jimmy's theory on that, you know, just see how things are going here the next couple of months and maybe add it back in. But then again, before I give a 100% definite answer on that right there, I will have another discussion with Brandon, find out exactly how things is going in their office. Do any of you guys know what kind of traffic comes in the office every day? Is it,
The EMS office.
no, the
Register
register
deeds.
deeds?
From what he stated when he came and did his, update the last time when he was actually mentioning closing due to the coronavirus, most of their things are done online. They have not as much foot traffic as they used to. So that was part of the thinking when they're looking for ways to cut of statements that he made about being more online and not having as much foot traffic in the office. Seemed like we could maybe do without that position, or try to.
Okay. So he kind of put it out there himself when he
Well,
spoke
just,
last time.
yeah, I mean, just saying that there's more technology and they could pretty much work somewhat from home even, or if they had to, because they didn't have a lot of foot traffic coming in and out anyway most of the time. So more people are opting to do online even if they can come out.
Right.
So,
And to your knowledge, since the office has been opened back up, has it been flying in and out of doors and remained
no.
about the same?
it's the same, yeah. Probably more online transactions, if any, if you have, ask him for sure, but that's what most departments are seeing is more, you know, not as much face to face.
Okay. When they're down to like 2 people in the office, is it hurting them? I mean, do they struggle when it gets to that point, when somebody's out sick or on vacation? Or?
Well, I mean, it's like any other department, if everybody can't go to lunch at one time, you have to leave somebody in there. Or you can always, I think Jake even said when he worked in the tax office and Kathy was registered deed, she'd walk over and say, hey, watch my office for 20 minutes while I do something, you know. So that was kind of work together down there like that. So that's really your only issues is if you do have somebody out, you just got to kind of work your work schedules around, and you got to plan your vacations around who's going on this week and that week and not be gone at the same time. So
Which is
any
also,
job is that
yeah,
way. So yeah,
all
so
Americans in
anything
this
is
work
that way.
now, we got to do the same. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
One question on the EMS position, is this something that if he don't have, like is it a must-have, gotta have, going to be penalized?
It's not a penalized.
So it's more just relief?
Right, and I don't, it's not my place to say how much they have going on down there, but I don't know how much public really comes in and out of the EMS station per se. I mean, I think they take a lot of calls, things like that, when, you know, Justin and Brandon are there, but I don't think that it's a must-have position. They're gonna get any kind of cited for it or anything like that, like the jail will.
Their life death situation?
No, it's not an emergency position.
But then, and then what I also understood with Stacy's is pretty much a must-have at the state's requiring is.
What she's saying is they're not meeting the standard of the 1 supervisor to 5 social workers. They currently have 20 full-time child welfare social workers and 3 supervisors, so they're pretty far off on that 5 to 1 ratio that she's supposed to keep.
I can help you on that a little bit too.
Okay.
The state in those situations can't require you to do that. They give you these recommendations based on their analysis and the safety and all that kind of stuff. Where it gets you is when something goes wrong.
Right.
And then they come in and they do the investigation about why the child died. And the first thing they say is your ratios are off. But then starts the
Then that's
blame
when you
game.
get in trouble.
Then starts the blame game and the risk. But they can't make you do it. I mean, they make you follow their ratios.
But like you said, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Some situations they can make us do it. Like they can make Mike do this 26 to 1 thing or not have inmates, but in other ones they can't force you, but they suggest that you do it based on their analysis.
Commissioner, like you had a question?
Well, yeah, I was just, as far as the social service, we never have met the state standards, as I know anything about, for supervisors.
We've been blessed, nothing major's happened, right? I said, we've just been blessed that nothing major's happened, right?
Usually something has major happens.
Oh, really?
last year, not during the budget process, but during the
Right, the
fiscal
budget
year.
Matter of fact,
Got
we gave
those
her-
5 positions
It
at
was
one
in
time,
That's what I thought, yeah.
and that was one of them was a supervisor.
And I do agree with, Commissioner
I mean,
Morris
I'm
on
not
this, that it's
disagreeing.
probably one of the most important things in the county we have to deal with, because child's welfare, look what we're doing with the schools with the SROs, man. Obviously, everyone else here at this table love the kids, don't wanna see nothing happen to them, so. I know some things you just can't do nothing about, but.
One other comment too, with the virus and all the kids being out of school, from what I'm told, one way they figure out if there's abuse going on is the school people spot it.
Yeah.
And now here we've had several months of, kids being hidden from certain things they're not normally hidden from. So I don't know, Stacy could probably tell you if there's an uptick in the cases they're dealing with. Might be something to consider.
And I'm sure it probably has in times like this. A lot of stress is.
I suspect so too.
But,
My thoughts on the DSS and EMS, I just ain't had much time to talk to either Stacy or Brandon on this, so I'm just gonna kind of hold till, again, after, maybe I can get with them this afternoon, so I can talk to both of them, get their thoughts on it. But, the rest of these positions, the only thing I kind of see in question right now is not that I want to see that position go away, it's just that we gotta cut somewhere. So, that's just my thoughts on that. We're gonna move on to the next part with the new school. Yes, sir.
Could I ask a question to Jake, please?
Yes, sir.
Jake, if we were to happen to approve some or all these new requests, you mentioned that there were other requests that they didn't really follow up that much on. So if we approve some of these, what's the chances of some of the other people whose request was denied, but, they say, well, now, hold on a second. We just didn't follow up on ours, but our need's just as important as these. Is it gonna start a chain reaction of some kind possibly?
well, I'm sure they're gonna be giving me a call. It's just that you're just gonna have to make a decision on what you feel like that is a necessity.
Well, you
Provide
set
services.
some criteria that has to be met before the request would be approved. Sheriff's, the criteria was, that was an easy call because that more than pays for itself, it's a revenue producer. The
Part of the-
others are not quite as clear cut.
Part of the plan that I'm assuming that this board agreed with when we done the jail. That X amount of jailers would have to be there to provide the services for the new jail. And making sure that the income was there for the model to be able to do what was established for it to do.
I seem to recall some discussion about what you mentioned. Thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jake.
The next thing is the new school F-Tech 4-cent fund. There was, Mr. Morris asked me to get in contact with Andrew Carter, and I did, about spreading the $1,139,775 over 5 years instead of budgeting it and then the 5th year not budgeting. He said that while I was sitting there on the phone with him, he plugged it into the model. He said it would not hurt the model. So you can adjust the transfer to $911,820, which would save you $227,955. So I have done that in Model 2.
This year, right?
Yes.
And
Next,
Yeah, and then what we would never skip a year.
right,
Okay.
it would be that from now on, but you never skip a year.
Okay.
For how many years?
The
You never
duration.
skip a year, how many years we owe?
Well, we've got to do it until the funds, everything's paid that's in that fund. That's savings that we have from the GO debt that we had for middle school in Piney Grove. That's the debt payments, and that was part of the model, that money would go back into the fund to help pay for this new debt.
Looks you have another 20 years on it.
number of years that we had to pay it.
Yeah, it's, well,
25 years left on it.
Well, you got community college and it's till,
Each, you have to look at each one individually for the year.
yeah. We did
This
the
would just
community
reduce the
college
transfer.
USDA, that's for 40 years, and we've only made, this will be our second payment on it, so, yeah. Unless y'all decide you wanna pay it off.
That interest rate? Not too anxious to pay it off.
I mean, that's just,
Hypothetical.
I mean, when they get down, they,
Doing more manageable.
if they don't put more debt into that 4% fund, you know, you could, you know, just what I'm saying. I probably won't be here,
I'm
but.
with you. I know I won't.
But, 'cause that's still 2050, so. But this is, I've got this in, I got this in the version 2 to reduce that down.
It probably will be. Ernest and I'm not so sure.
He's already 97, how much longer you expect him to live?
Oh, goodness.
But that's in the version 2 of what I said, give the board, is reducing that payment to 9/11, saving that money.
Oh, okay, it's in there then. So you already made the change.
Yeah, in the sheets that I give y'all, that's in there.
I mean, to me, it makes sense rather than trying to skip one every
Remember, in 5 years, you gotta not budget.
Plus people, new commissioners come in that aren't familiar with it, it'd be confusing if it's just coming out every year, then it like.
Oh, you can save us $200-some-thousand right there.
For this year, yeah.
Then if you go to your sheet
Then am I okay
2,
with doing that?
Is everybody good with that?
oh,
Just keep paying it every year?
yeah.
Reducing the payment, is that, is everybody feel okay about doing that?
I thought that was what it said anyway.
Jimmy, you good with it?
Turn to your sheet 2, salary adjustments per recommendation of consideration of approval. These are the, only 2 salary things besides the vehicle maintenance and I think that's all. These are 2, I requested a reclass because this position that we got last year is doing more stuff than we had projected we was gonna do, and that's the reason I asked for any reclassification. And then senior services is wanting to increase a part-time position's time due to, they are the ones that are scheduling the transportation down there for seniors. Didn't know what the board wanted to do with those 2 requests.
I'll just go ahead and speak freely on that one if y'all want to. Thoughts on it?
I'll make a comment and hopefully reserve the option of comment later. When I was at Reynolds, I worked, in a department for about 12 years. The department was called industrial engineering. Ernest might remember, most of the factory folks and all didn't like us that much. Because we did time surveys. And the survey, the purpose of their surveys was to see what percentage of the time it took an employee to actually do their duties. Some of them may be, to a small amount, half. Others may be having to work at 100+% just to keep up. And that's what I don't know about, Julia's position is, that one is pretty transparent, that's pretty clear.
At the time, we didn't know exactly what we would be given that position to do, and we have given that position more duties than we were projecting, and the duties, as far as audit, help assisting more with audit, cost allocation reports, it frees up Lisa to assist me more with issues, just like she dealt more with the auditors the other week because I was working on the budget more. It just shifts everything so I can have more assistance with over some stuff to her to do that would relieve some stuff off me when I'm into crucial things
Right.
such as budget,
Streamline.
applications to local government commission, and then other issues that are coming up that,
No, yours, does not have, almost 3,000.
and it does,
And I've always found you to be very credible. If you have a good history with me, and if you say that this is justified, just hearing you say that goes a long ways with me. I'm a little curious, while we're talking about it now, how it happened not to make it through the earlier phases of the
it
budget.
did, but, you know, this is in the budget, it's just, do you wanna keep it in the budget?
Okay, that puts a different perspective.
Same thing with senior services, these are the two salary items that Jake approved in the budget. Besides, separate from the vehicle maintenance issue, which we'll get to in a little bit, but,
What's the purpose of us discussing?
well, this is just, do you wanna leave it in there, or, you know, it's just,
Well, once it's in there, to me, it's worse to take something away from someone that's been there versus not giving it to them in the first place. Because they feel probably sort of, cheated a little bit if we take it away.
It's an increase though,
Yeah.
it's not already being given, so it's a recommendation of.
Senior services part-time position was increased due to the amount of, deliveries, meals,
costs are good for transportation.
cost of transportation. And
So there's been an uptick in
Yeah,
that area of activity.
And then the finance purchasing tech one was increased due to the amount that she's talking about, that's the amount of work that she's talking about here, but the amount of work that they will also provide in the actual vehicle maintenance side of it also. So that was mainly the increase there.
No, it's not the main increase for the finance job.
No.
She has her doing a bunch of internal control stuff. That
Yeah.
position just shares with purchasing, but she'd already asked for this increase before
before the vehicle maintenance
came up.
issue,
So she needed that either way
yeah.
to fix her pay
So
crew.
I'm
That's what Joy said.
pretty much inclined to see that these are justified. Again, if we approve these to stay in, it's gonna start a chain reaction of other folks who made similar requests and theirs were denied.
No, I don't think so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Judge.
On both these items, first, last year on the reclasses, we said we were gonna wait, not do them unless the salary study people recommended them. I tend to lean that way this year too, to at least get some outside recommendation. I have heard about this reclass and why it's hanging out there by itself, and I got all these others that are really well justified that were not recommended, so. I have some questions about that, or about perception of doing one and forgetting all the others, without a third party at least making a recommendation on what that should be. I'm undecided on it at this point. On the garage thing, I want to give a whole new proposal. I don't particularly care for the way the recommendation is, nothing personal. I don't think it'll work very well the way it's recommended, putting it under Glenda or procurement or whatever we're talking about. So, what I would recommend doing is, I took 2 job descriptions and marked them up, and I can email them to you guys tonight, and you look at them, or Shannon can copy them to you. I think the way the garage should be organized, and it's based on a lot of personal experience working with these guys, I think we should have 2 positions over there. One should be a vehicle maintenance supervisor, one should be a vehicle maintenance mechanic. And I took those 2 jobs, the supervisor job position, made some minor changes to it. quick. First of all, I put it under the sheriff's department, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But on the first line, it says performs responsible, skilled, technical work in supervising, participating, servicing, maintenance, and variety of automotive, construction, specialized equipment. I just changed one word in that and said it performs responsible, skilled, mechanical work to emphasize the fact that this supervisor is a working supervisor. I added a little bit in the first sentence, so on the next section it says, employee in this class is responsible for supervising the operation of the garage. I put, and I'm talking about the supervisor still, employee in this class is responsible for day-to-day supervision of the operation of the garage. Down at the bottom it has additional job duties. I added one there that says perform road services as needed. On the old setup down there, the mechanic had that in there, but the supervisor didn't. And I think if we're gonna go to two people, they both have to go do the road services. That's taking the, that truck column, that thing goes down. Rollback, taking the rollback and picking up, wrecks and doing stuff like that and being on call, for emergencies at night that the sheriffs and so forth get into. Then the other thing I added to the supervisor position is that they should, and this was also in the mechanic's position description, they should be able to obtain state vehicle inspection certification, and number 1 and 2, they must furnish their own tools when they're not provided by the county. So those are the minor modifications I made to that one. I don't think I made any changes to the mechanic's position other than putting it under the sheriff's department. The reason I recommend putting these under the sheriff's department instead of under procurement, I've really never seen a motor pool run by a procurement office. They order parts and do stuff, but I mean, these guys actually would order their own parts, I would imagine. A lot of them anyway. So the reason I picked the sheriff is because he has the largest fleet of vehicles that are serviced by the department. There's also a precedent, like in other counties, I think Forsyth County, the motor pool and vehicle maintenance is run under the sheriff's department as well. One other change I made, I might have skipped over it, but in the, in the vehicle maintenance supervisor, instead of preparing the budget like a department would, I said he would participate in the preparation of the budget, but it would be the sheriff that made the final say so on what that budget would be. So I think since the sheriff has way more vehicles than anybody else and has more dealings with these guys, and I called him and asked him if he'd be willing to do this, and he said he was not looking for extra work, but he would, based on my justification, be willing to do it if we asked him to. So, the reason I think this needs to be changed this way is we were getting ready to set this up with 2 equal guys over there doing day-to-day tasks on all sorts of things, including going out on the road and doing whatever, with no decision maker unless they made a call to the office up here. I don't think that would work for 45 minutes over there. And it's you know, when you got work crews out and got people out working, you got to have somebody in charge, and you can't. I don't think it can be set up where you have to go make a phone call every time you decide, well, who's going to go pick up the car? I don't want to go. So who's going to go pick up the car? And then and what expertise is there up here to make those decisions? So I think I would recommend you guys think about this maybe overnight or whatever, since we're back tomorrow. But I don't think it'll function properly unless we do some variation of this. And also, I was going to say on setting the salaries for these positions, I guess, you know, one thing would be to ask the salary studies people to give us a recommendation on what they should be. Otherwise, I'm not sure how would be the best way to set those 2 salaries. I think it would be, you know, with 2 people there now that we're leasing the fleet, the duties have basically changed from what was going on over there, and I think this is a logical way to approach it to make it work smoothly.
comment. If you change the vehicle maintenance supervisor to a working supervisor, we need to make them a non-exempt employee. And that would allow him to get on-call pay.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Right now, the supervisor does not get on-call pay because he's exempt.
Yeah, I think these probably should be, with this change in the structure over there and the reduction of scope, they should both be non-exempt.
And see, right now, they're under the county manager, they're not under procurement at this time. But
Another way to do it would be to put these two positions in and put them under the county manager and make it a department.
that's what it is now.
I know, you could do that.
Yeah, but
I mean, it was already under the manager.
We
but I was
still,
just
we still need a supervisor on site. The two guys,
one of them has to have authority over the other. And then I would just say, let the sheriff or whoever we put it under do the hiring, you know, do a hiring process and fill the two positions.
For me to do figuring for this, I would need to know a grade and everything. So if you want to leave it on what the previous supervisor was on, or,
I don't know, I'd like to hear other people's opinions on that.
I mean, I'm just
I don't have,
asking before
I
me
don't
to
have
do
a-
figuring for the budget, I would need to know that.
I know we'll have to figure that
I
out.
mean, that's just,
I don't have a real fixed opinion on that without
hearing
hearing
everybody else's thoughts.
thoughts on it.
that position is almost 72 right now.
That's the,
Supervisor,
is there not a foreman there?
Yeah, there's a shop foreman position
shop
too.
foreman.
There's a shop foreman.
How would your proposal, be different from the shop foreman mechanic current configuration?
Well, it depended on how you define the shop foreman, if he has, or she has supervisory authority over the other one.
You could call them that instead of a maintenance supervisor, vehicle maintenance supervisor.
As long as somebody has authority.
Do they have authority, does one have authority over the other?
The shop foreman, as of now, in the job description, acts in the absence of the vehicle maintenance supervisor. That's how it's worded.
What if they have direct authority, not just in the absence of
Right now, the shop foreman job description states that the shop foreman acts in place of the vehicle maintenance supervisor if they're not there, pretty much, in the absence of.
As of right now,
So
that person.
as of right now, you know, they're under Jake per se now until we make a decision on what's going on with the configuration of that department. But for right now, yes, the shop foreman would be the first person in charge over there when there's no supervisor.
But what Rick's recommended is doing away with shop foreman, right?
And just having a
Yeah,
supervisor.
and I like the idea personally of, since the scope has changed of what's going on over there, to establish this new structure and let the folks compete for it versus just kind of let it fall into
We
what's
have to do
left.
that
So,
anyway. Shop foreman's position is almost grade 70, so I don't know what.
But you would have to, I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me, it's still basically following the recommendations that the budget's already, it's just realigning who's over what and allowing them to have, to compete for the position. That, the one is under Commissioner, Morris's recommendation, which is fine with me, and placing it under the sheriff's department, I got no problem with that, he does have the most vehicles. I just went with Glenda due to she oversees the leasing of the vehicles. Being that we under leasing, I think she would be able to handle any types of cars, because they're all new now, and pretty much all they're gonna do on motor vehicles that we have now is just the tire change and oil change. The major portion of mechanical work is probably gonna fall under EMS. About the maintaining these large ambulances, because they're not under the leasing area. mean, however the board decides they want to go with it, I'm fine with it. I was just saying here is, being that we went with this new leasing side of it, it's just not as much work over there. To where I said, here's an opportunity that you can save, how much was it, $30,000? It was 38,000?
Like 35.
35,000 and not replacing back at this time, the retiring
Maintenance supervisor.
and seeing how everything goes. And again, Commissioner Walker and board members, this is something that you can revisit later because you may say, we need to fill this position because it's not working right and move forward with the different. This right here allows you to save an additional 35,000. And due to us leasing, these cars are pretty much, you, not a lot of service to them. Just making sure you maintain the agreement we have in oil changes and tire rotation.
Get a maintenance supervisor, the position that they could compete for, I would think the grade would be less than what the old one was, because they're not supervised with one other person, so scope of it decreases.
Well, great. I'm just trying to think so I can bring y'all figures back, you know, on this. It's what I'm thinking. I just need to know, you know, what, a sergeant in the sheriff's office is on a 72, so that makes it.
Maybe make the maintenance supervisor the same as what the shop foreman was.
It's a 70.
70, and then the mechanic,
You want to leave the mechanic where he is,
what is it, what do they have?
their grade 63.
I don't know, seems to me
I don't know what the salary study's doing for that.
you know, be nice to get their opinion on it, too. Or at least adjust it later when we get the salary study. And kind of, they're almost gonna be doing the same thing, except one's gonna have a little more authority than the other, so that's a pretty wide gap in there.
It's just person, I don't know which one will get the,
Right, which one, if you have to open it
we
all
have
up.
to open it up for people to apply for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the shop foreman is on grade 70 now, so I don't know what you would do.
Per se, if
Would
he,
you just put a board together, like with the sheriff and a couple more ones who deal with them the most, to interview for that?
yeah, but what Julia's saying is, let's say you interview for it and the person that's in the vehicle maintenance position gets the supervisor job. What do you do with the gentleman that's currently the shop foreman? You put him back, drop him down, how
You
many?
can't reduce his
Right, I mean,
salary.
it would, I don't even know how that would work out in that particular
But I'm
job.
saying, what if you give the shop foreman, who's in the shop foreman, if you give him the supervisor thing, he's on grade 70 anyway, so are you not going,
Seems like that question's kind
I
of.
mean, that's just a question.
One in this position, the other in that position. May just be a little tweaking of the job description.
And whoever you want to make sure that's overseeing it. You know, it doesn't make it, I just made a recommendation based on what we're doing now with our vehicles, the sheriff's department. Mr. Walker, Mr. Morris talks about having the most vehicles and needing the most maintenance work, or if any, over there, that's definitely a great decision, you know, that's a good department to place it under. Right now, I'm over, you know, if it's falling under me until we decide which way we wanna go with it. And Glenda is kinda helping, looking after this.
I'm in favor of moving some of these positions out from under our manager because if my memory is correct, Mr. Morris, you had 22 direct reports at one time.
Yeah.
That's way, way too many. Preferably, just sort of a casual view toward it. I'd say less than 10 direct reports. That may be a little extra at that level.
Well, that's something that you may see in this.
Right, and I'll be looking for that kind of, hope it gets here before December.
hear a question too, that the sheriff, we put in our sheriff's department, he would put a hiring panel together to fill positions.
Yeah.
So, whoever he wanted to.
Commissioner Lane?
Jake, you're not giving you're not saying which way you'd like to see it go, stay with you or go somewhere else, go to another body. I need your recommendation. Cause you've done it for the last X amount of years on how the program is working, the lease operation, what kind of problems you had, if you had any, and that's the reason why I'd like for your recommendation to be, how it stays.
Well, I can do that. That's no problem with the recommendation I've already got in the budget, you know. I placed it under purchase agent, by the fact that they're overseeing the leased vehicles right now, what's coming in and how they're getting them situated, how they're getting them distributed out. Overseeing they're looking at making sure that the maintenance is set up right and tracked and looked at. Well, it may be some software that I'll bring to the board for consideration of purchasing and then tracking these vehicles and monitoring the health of them and advising the county on that there's issues that needs to be looked at that's not known to the driver at this time. And but anyway, we want to make sure that when we do these things, that the model that we got set up on this enterprise is that we are meeting this model, we're meeting what their requirements are, and that the model is headed in the right direction as far as making sure that it overall turns out to save the county money. But whoever supervises this department, I could go with the sheriff's department just as easily as what I've recommended. I didn't want to put another department under the sheriff. I'm pretty sure he's stressed out as it is.
Yeah, I know that.
And and he was okay with this. It placed him being under the purchasing agent. So as far as making sure everything is purchased, everything is ordered, everything is taken, because she's doing it anyway. And she would make sure that this side of it was taken care of.
These cars, that the county owns, or yes, the county owns them, we bought them, I guess, didn't we?
But the cars,
Did we buy the car?
It's a
it's
lease purchase.
Well,
Yes,
lease
lease
purchase,
purchase, yes.
same thing,
yes.
okay. The service and, well, the policy or procedure on it is, we do all the servicing.
Right.
And that's the reason why we got two people over there and doing the servicing.
Had three.
Had three.
Uh,
Did have three.
One just retired last week.
Wes retired.
West was pretty much overseeing it, making sure that everything was stocked, ordering, looking after that way. I said, could Linda do this now? And the ordering of supplies and overseeing that portion and along with the overseeing of the enterprise side of the leasing, purchasing, and I would not even fill this position that is being retired. So that was another savings I looked at due to what possibly could happen. And we all agree that the economy don't turn bad. We can revisit a lot of these areas. But I don't have a problem with it being under the sheriff's office. I didn't put it under the sheriff by the fact that he's overwhelmed now. I just didn't
already got down.
Already got the animal shelter, and
You put in there.
we've also put in a, part-time position there to help officers, to make sure that if, any of the maintenance supervisors or maintenance workers needed to take off on vacation, got sick, that they're able to call in this individual. Come in and fill, their position during their absence.
That wouldn't really be any different now if you put it under the sheriff or anybody else.
You still would need another person there to be
Yeah, I
there
would
when
recommend
it's
you
not.
leave that one in there to make sure that they had the ability to take off time if they wanted to, or if they've got sick, then they can call up some people that they have, had agreement with, maintenance workers, mechanics, and just, hey, we need you this week. They would come in and fill that position. Fill that vacancy at the moment.
Pretty much what you've got right here, these different positions, you pretty much gave them a little bit of a raise since they are taking on, going from 3 to 2.
I did do
Is that
that.
correct?
I did do that.
And the support service director, the increase on the 6,112.09 is, right there.
Oh, under Glenda, she got a raise also for overseeing
Okay.
the area, the department. Which I would think if you put it under the sheriff's department, then the sheriff's department would look at you and say, now I'm gonna put this under my captain and,
Please.
accommodate him financially, but, I would think he would say that, but, you know.
I think when I talked to him, he said something about putting her chief deputy. That wasn't no problem. Chief deputy exempt or non-exempt.
Something that you wanted to look at there due to the extra work that is going on.
With everything's going right now, there's a whole lot of work that's gonna be done on somebody. I know the sheriff already deals with the garage right off, just about, on most days, but come on.
He does daily.
He does.
Go there every day. Or used to be. I don't know what he's doing now. Used to go there every day.
And that may be the better fit. You know, I'm for the best possible solution here.
You don't have to sign today.
Yeah, we can move on, because that's what I say, some new stuff that just got rolled out for everybody to think about overnight. Don't want to call everybody, ask you questions, that gives you a little bit of time. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, just, yeah.
Very interested in Commissioner Marcy's proposal. I'm sitting here thinking about that process. We're going to discuss it tomorrow, but I don't even know if it needs a lot of tweaking. It sounds like something that could very possibly work. Thank you, sir.
Do y'all not want me to do any type of figuring on this, or wait, or,
Not yet.
okay.
We gotta give you something to work with.
I mean, I didn't know if you wanted
Yes, you
some,
want to take a stab in the dark and put some stuff on there for us?
I took a few, but, I mean, I've already done a few, but it's not, but anyway.
Y'all want me to email you this thing with the, changes I marked on it, or?
Please do.
Let me just give it a shout. Would you do that, Shannon?
Yeah, I'll just scan it.
And I guess the next thing was, is everybody, as far as the equipment that's been recommended in the budget?
Richard, you want one wrong?
There we go.
Always, you know, all the board is,
I got a page of equipment.
well, I've just kind of summarized it. The total is $1,122,965 for general fund, but $211,269 is actual general fund money. Then the other funds, the capital reserve, I just listed that out, but if you want detail, under, the orange folder in your book, the detail on it, what departments are getting what. I just kind of summarized it. I mean, that's just, usually the board looks, you know, just says yay,
Center is getting some weed eaters and leaf blowers. Economic Development is laptop. Elections getting, I grabbed a computer, which Shannon is.
Air gap.
Air gap. Communication is, some spelling updates and links to the models, laptop. Emergency Management is a flatbed truck and barricade trailer hauling. Grant, and these are grants, and then what the general fund is coming in was on, they requested a drone, but I didn't put that in the budget. And then there was a, upgrade in some, red lighting and radios and equipment for trucks. That'd be it, general fund.
Before we move on, check out any interruptions, we can get the questions for a short break, just for a few minutes.
Yes.
Republican convention had been pulled from their. Heard.
Where'd you go?
Well, they were looking at Georgia and Florida.
On Nashville.
So all around this area, it sounds like, one to the west of us, two to the south of us.
Call the meeting back to order.
I believe we was talking about the equipment before we took our break. County Manager Oakley was
Reading everything off.
Would you read everything off?
I can continue reading it. I'm sure that you guys have this in your budget.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste your time, but if you want me to continue highlighting it, I can.
I looked through it, Mr. Chairman, I didn't have any problem with what the recommendations were there.
I agree.
What about an ambulance for this year?
One.
We do that on a
Rotation.
specific cycle, specific rotation.
Doesn't matter.
Some years two, some years one. This year's one.
And going with the bigger ambulance allows you to, the big diesel allows you to keep them longer, and then now you can outfit them. Nobody's talking about that. Remounts, there we go.
So this year, is it a complete new ambulance or?
Yes,
we do
yes.
it?
Complete new ambulance.
That
We
should
find-
be it, right?
So,
I want to check with Brandon on that, but this could be where you've got to the point now, you're ready to start your remount. But please let me check with him. I know it's getting real close.
We were, as I recall, we were trying to phase out the smaller ones.
Like this does, and this does. Would you like me to read on with this, or y'all okay with it? Okay.
we go to the next thing.
Equipment.
Equipment, all the equipment.
First page.
Yeah,
There's several pages.
there's several pages to it.
We'll go over it, but I've got some questions.
Okay. Okay.
So, any questions?
I mean, we'll go over the rest of it.
All right. But you see the jail has got, computers which would be financed, but then you've got some, radios and, vehicle detection, gates and then you got screen touch, stations and cameras and they did request a Sally Port to be, built, redone, that got cut. Parks, recs and planning, they've got some, equipment for, police vehicles. Public building, you know, they did have the demolition of the prison camp in it. Actually, I cut that out too. So, but it's got some, flooring in the, courthouse. Paving work to be done at the, new EMS station. And then you have also a third of a share in that area for a front-end loader backhoe. Register of Deeds is wanting a new printer. They didn't get that. And then revaluation, they got computers which will be financed. And then you've got the sheriff's department, or you go through your leasing, which is your debt service, and 12 new vehicles coming in. Then you have general fund of equipment for the new vehicles, and you have laptops and computers and cameras and upgrading the software in there. You got social services for new vehicles. Social services now does not go through our leasing process because the state's involved in purchasing vehicles. But there's,
Excuse me. Ask a question. I believe they get them for a little less than half the actual cost of the vehicle. It'd be hard to beat that.
we got 4 vehicles here at $20,000 each.
County's part is
Okay.
82,000, the county's part is 32,904, and plus they got, wrecked the vehicle, we it asks for SUV and foster, but that's no county money, that's through special adoption funds.
And you have solid waste, there is one of your big green box front end loaders being purchased this time, but it's financed. And then you have your tax administrator, more, computers, and, that's basically it. As far as your equipment, you got a total general fund of, $722,463.
$211,296. You have to look at the next column.
Oh, I was in the wrong one. Okay, the requested was 722,000, and the 211,000 is what was recommended.
General fund.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask another question? Am I supposed to be asking you each time, or did you just open it up?
I opened it up, yeah.
All right, I remember that, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jake, at one time, we were looking at, some major changes to our solid waste. New boxes and everything, new kind of truck and all. Where is that? It was-
Process.
Long-term is supposed to save us money.
Yeah. Well, we gotta get the sites bought, fixed, rebuilt, and designed, and laid out to where we can start making these changes. I wanna go to what do they call the truck, just the roll-off
We have
batch,
purchased
just a
two
regular.
roll-off
we don't buy
trucks.
These large, expensive front-end loaders anymore. We get into more recycling side of it. Just having a very difficult time moving forward with Walnut Cove, and Pinnacle is scheduled for this year's budget to move forward with it. And we're trying our best to acquire the land, but difficult process. It's just hard to get it. Here's what we're doing, and don't want to be a part of it. But we're trying to get the existing site that we got in Walnut Cove. Engineer says it's gonna be a lot of, architect Perry Peace says it's gonna be a lot of cost in hauling dirt in. So do we start looking at other places on top, instead of spending a lot of money in grading and hauling, dirt? What is the cheapest way?
Safety issue with both of those sites, particularly Walnut Cove.
Walnut Cove's got a bad safety issue. One time I thought I had the problem solved, and it didn't work out. People changed their mind. And I thought I had it solved again, and for the turn,
Signs back on me again.
again, about the fact that there's cost of repair or fixing construction. It's very frustrating, that site. Now I've got some other process. I'll be talking to the board of commissioners, board meeting, of the location that's got potential, a real good potential of being another site that actually takes it off of Highway 89, and that's probably one of the things we need to do is get it off that busy highway. But anyway, we're trying our best. It's just very frustrating. We're getting a lot of no shows and no can't do's now instead of good information. But if this new site works out, it's got a lot of potential. It gets it off 89 anyway.
Would be good.
Pinnacle, working on it. Have to acquire the property that will allow us to move forward building it.
Thank you. Any more questions on the improvement?
Oh, yeah, I did too, I'm sorry. How many total vehicles have we got on lease?
You mean on this equipment list?
Yeah,
5 and social services.
No, I'm talking about the county.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that total. We'd have to call and get that.
I'll get it for you. I'll get it for you.
Okay.
Is that leased and owned? Is that leased and owned?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were 84 last year, and this year's much lower. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
it's like
we get
16 or something this year in the budget, I think.
On the lease.
Yeah, it was 84 last year, and I'm pretty sure this year's 16 or something in that, but I can get the exact number for you.
One time I remember 280, total vehicle.
Right, but that's the total that they
We've
recommend that we
sold.
replace over the next, like, 5 years, but they have them in a phased-in approach, like, the worst ones were, of course, that first year to get rid of those. Then it gets better as we go along, because we're removing all those old vehicles from the fleet.
And we've been selling a lot on that.
Good deal.
Good deal. We been getting quite a bit of money for some of these vehicles. More than we
Yes.
would have in a county sale, auction. We're not having to pay an auction here. Getting money we would have got $400 or $500, we get $2,000.
Really?
Yeah, or more.
Oh, my.
So
That's great.
That's
it's
really
better selling them on .gov than it is having the auction out here.
Well, every time I go to a commissioner conference, those people would really talk to me about the advantages of using
It
it.
is, it's been a good advantage.
It's a very good advantage. It's easy to use and too, it's friendly, it's user-friendly for us
Yeah.
and for the people buying from it.
We've had people from Georgia come and buy, yeah.
That is working well.
The next item is the appropriation of $500,000 for internet. I have that in in version 2 budget, and that's taking the fund balance to 18% if we do that. Like, you know,
I'll comment on that one if you like. I think all of us would prefer the timing be some other time than this budget with the virus and everything, but timing for this is driven by the fact that the state's gonna give us, or put up $30 million of matching funds in October. And then we also already have one offer of a match of $500K to go with this. So I think it becomes the most important option in the budget, or most important issue with the budget this year. With the pandemic, it has highlighted the fact that everybody has to have internet. You gotta have it these days. It's as important as your other utilities are. And we got a lot of folks that either have one option or no option out here in the county. And this proposal gives us an opportunity to rapidly speed the schedule up to a couple years of getting it out to them at a much reduced price. Kind of hold things over until we can get wire in the ground later on, or fiber in the ground later on. So I think we definitely, I was glad to see you put it in there already. I think I would recommend looking and getting this money somewhere in the budget. I'd get it from the fund balance if I couldn't get it anywhere else. Jimmy, I think, mentioned last time it would take your fund balance down 1.8%, 20 to about 18. I don't think I could make that argument out in the county that for the people that don't have internet that, sorry we didn't fund your internet, but we got 1.8% more in the fund balance just in case something goes wrong. I don't believe that